You've thought about it. Maybe you've thought about it more than you want to admit. Making them feel what they made you feel, letting them see, finally, what they actually did. Watching them understand, really understand, that what they did had consequences. And here's the part that nobody says out loud, that wanting doesn't make you a bad person. Revenge fantasies are one of the most documented, most universal responses to being seriously hurt by another person. Psychologists have studied this for decades. What the research actually found will surprise you. Because the problem with revenge, and that it's wrong, it's that it doesn't work. Let's name what actually happens inside when someone wrongs you, not the polished version, the real one. There's the obvious pain, the betrayal, the loss, the shock of it. But there's something underneath the pain that's harder to talk about, harder to admit. There's a feeling of being erased when someone lies to you, or cheats on you, or discards you, or uses you, and then just continues their life as if nothing happened. It sends a message your nervous system receives whether you consciously register it or not. You didn't matter enough to be careful with. In the revenge fantasy, it's really about punishment, not at its core. It's about reversal. I want them to know I mattered. I want them to feel what I felt. I want them to lose something the way I lost something. Psychologist Michael McCullough at the University of Miami has spent his career studying revenge and forgiveness. What drives them, what maintains them, and what actually resolves them. What he found is that the desire for revenge isn't a character flaw or a sign of immaturity. It is a hardwired, evolutionarily ancient response to social injury. Your desire for revenge is your brain's way of saying, "What happened to me was not acceptable. I will not absorb this silently." That's not weakness. That's your self-respect trying to stay alive. The problem isn't the feeling, it's what it costs you to hold on to it. In 2004, Dominique de Crevin and a team of neuroscientists at the University of Zurich ran an experiment. They put participants in a trust game, a scenario where they could cooperate with a partner to make money, or betray them. Some partners in the experiment were programmed to betray. When a partner betrayed them, participants were given a choice: accept it, or spend their own money to punish the person who betrayed them, even though the punishment came at a personal cost. Most people chose to punish, even when it cost them something. But here's the finding that matters. While people anticipated punishing the person who betrayed them before they'd actually done it, the caudate nucleus lit up. The caudate nucleus is part of your brain's reward circuitry, the same region that activates for food, for sex, for money. Anticipating revenge felt like anticipating something good, which is why revenge fantasies are compelling, why you keep returning to them. Your brain is getting a hit of something that resembles reward, just from imagining the scenario. But here's where de Crevin's study gets complicated. After the punishment was carried out, after people actually did what they fantasized about, the satisfaction was significantly smaller than anticipated. This is called the hedonic forecasting error. Your brain predicted how good revenge would feel. It was wrong. And more than that, a separate study by Kevin Carlsmith at Colby College in 2008 found something darker. People who didn't punish the person who wronged them moved on faster. They thought about the incident less, the wound closed sooner. People who did punish kept reopening the wound. Every time they carried out or mentally replayed the revenge, they had to mentally revisit the original injury to make sense of it. The revenge kept the story alive. Your brain wanted resolution. Revenge promised resolution. But it delivered more activation, more replaying, more presence of the person who hurt you in your daily mental life. Here's what the trap actually feels like from inside it. You're not obsessing. You're processing. You're not stuck. You're building the case. You're not giving them power. You're planning to take yours back. Every distinction feels real from inside it. And in small doses, in the immediate aftermath of being hurt, some of this is true. Your brain does need time to make sense of what happened. Anger is protective. But there's a line. Dr. Everett Worthington at Virginia Commonwealth University identified what he calls the rumination loop. It works like this. You think about what they did. You feel the anger and injustice of it. The anger feels like action, like you're doing something with the pain rather than just absorbing it. So, you return to the thoughts, which renews the anger, which feels again like action, round and round. Here is the neurological reality of that loop. Every time you revisit the anger, every time you replay the scenario, rehearse the confrontation, run the fantasy, you are flooding your body with cortisol. Your stress hormone, cortisol in acute doses, is useful. It activates your threat response. It prepares you to act. But chronic cortisol, the cortisol that comes from living in a state of sustained injustice, sustained vigilance, sustained rehearsal of pain, damages your hippocampus. That's the region responsible for emotional regulation and memory consolidation. In plain language, chronic unforgiveness physically impairs your ability to regulate your own emotions and process new experiences. They are not feeling your cortisol. They are not experiencing your hippocampus under stress. They have moved on. Or worse, they don't even know you're still thinking about them. You are spending your neurological resources on a war only you are fighting. I know what you're thinking now, but if I let go, they win. No, they already won when they got to exit and you didn't. Staying trapped in this is not justice. It's an extended sentence that you are serving, and they aren't. This is what it looks like in ordinary life, not extreme, just constant. You're in a conversation with a friend and they say something that has nothing to do with the person who hurt you, and within 30 seconds, you found a way back to the story. You're explaining it again, refining the case, looking for validation that yes, what they did was wrong. You're watching something, or reading something, or just driving, and a single thought arrives, and the next 30 minutes are gone. Not to grief, to something more like litigation. You're building arguments, preparing evidence, running hypotheticals. What if I said this? What if they knew that? What if everyone could see what I see? There's a physical signature too. Your jaw is tight more than it used to be. Your sleep is lighter. You surface from it more easily, especially in the early morning hours when your defenses are down and the thoughts come in. Your energy is depleted in a way that rest doesn't fully fix, because the depletion isn't physical. It's attentional. You are giving the best hours of your mind to someone who is not giving you anything back. That's the hidden cost, not the anger, the attention. There is no revenge worth what it costs you. I don't say that as a moral statement. I say it as a factual one. The research on this is not ambiguous. Rumination maintains hyperactivation of stress systems. It delays emotional recovery. It keeps the person who hurt you occupying cognitive space that belongs to your actual life. So, the question ain't whether to forgive them. It isn't even whether they deserve consequences. The question is, what do you want your mental life to be about? Here's a specific practice from Worthington's REACH model. Recall the hurt accurately, not minimizing, not catastrophizing. What actually happened, stated plainly. Empathize not with the action, but with the humanity. Recognizing that they are a broken human operating from their own unprocessed wounds. This is not absolution. It is perspective, altruistic release. Framing the release as a gift you give yourself by releasing the hold activates different neural circuitry than framing it as capitulation. Commit to the release. Write it down. Say it. Make it concrete. Decisions that are only internal dissolve faster. Hold on to it when it wavers, because it will waver. The thoughts will return. The difference is not whether they return, it's what you do when they do. Releasing the revenge fantasy doesn't mean the harm didn't happen. It doesn't mean they were right. It doesn't mean you owe them anything. It means you are done paying rent in your own mind to someone who doesn't live there anymore. Carrying the desire for revenge is not strength. It feels like it. It feels like staying upright. It feels like refusing to be erased. But your nervous system can't distinguish between reliving something and living something. When you replay the injury, you are re-injuring yourself. They don't get a second round with you. That's already decided. But they do get to live in your head, rent-free, for as long as the story continues. The research on post-traumatic growth shows that genuine recovery from serious interpersonal harm happens. It is documented. People come back from things that felt unsurvivable. You are allowed to be angry. You are allowed to grieve. You are allowed to believe, with complete certainty, that what they did was wrong. And you are allowed to put it down, not because they deserve your release. Because you deserve your life, yours,